All right, we're back. We're here.
And it's summer.
We never left.
Yeah, and it's very hot. You sweat just walking. It's
I'm
amazing.
sweating in here just thinking about it. But that's okay because things are still going on.
Yeah, you can go find yourself a pool, stay fresh.
Lots of pools in the valley.
Yeah.
And a few ponds, actually, too.
Yeah, just don't go in the river.
Well, unless you want to put yourself at risk.
Anyway, we got some sports to talk about. What's going on, man?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on is the summer leagues are about halfway through.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now, man, it's a weird animal, Pete, because you can get a read on some of the teams, and yet you miss the boat on others because this person wasn't there or they didn't do this. So the tea leaves, as I like to say, you can read them to an extent, but you can't always depend on what you see because the missing person or two will show up. And
Chemistry-wise, it's completely unbalanced.
yeah, what you do is you get kids a chance to play on the varsity level. Like I was watching a couple of teams, and they were really little. In fact, one of Edinburg teams, you know, seeing those guys out there for the first time, looking at big kids who can run, it's worth it for them. So chemistry in terms of learning how to play there, but learning how to play with the mesh of the people who'll be on the team, it's hit or miss. But it's still entertaining. I just like to see who's gotten better.
And over the course of the summer, I think, you know, you will see who's better, and they'll finally make their point and make the varsity squad.
You know, I'll tell you an interesting note. Robert Brown, sister of Leah Brown, or brother of Leah Brown, he's a good basketball player.
Yeah.
And he's going to be at Economides this year. I didn't know if he was. I mean, there were people talking about this and that. He's going to be there. He's looking big. He's actually muscular, and yet he's looking quicker with the ball. So Economides, they've got some big kids, man. They got some decent players.
I hope it's going to be better than it's been over the past few years.
Well, you know, they had that moment in time when they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Then they won 25, but didn't make the playoffs. And last year was definitely challenging for them. I don't feel like they put their best foot forward at all times. Now I can say with Teo Adiola, the tight end, he's a really good player down low. Julian Abrego, great body on this kid. 6'2", about 195, can jump to the moon. So they've got some big kids. The Economides kids going to be finding guard play because they graduated Rosie Rosillo and Barrientos, Danny B. So Economides looking for guards. There's a bunch of guys out there playing this summer that every game they get closer to understanding what it's going to be like to replace those good kids.
That's only going to be, I mean, I really hope they do it, man, because, you know, they've struggled the last few years, like I was saying, and, but if they're coming up in the summer, I mean, they're going to
big kids.
Just stay at the weight room and get at it, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and you look at three of those guys are huge. I'll tell you, he was also huge this year.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, we talked about him a little bit. I watched him against Edinburg North last night, in fact. Kind of a sloppy game, real physical, a lot of turnovers, but both teams are just getting after one another. They're two playoff teams right there, because North earlier played Rowe,
Sure.
Lost by 6. Against Sharyland, they gained the upper hand about in the third quarter, and they ended up 10-point win, but I don't think either team was that much better than the other.
Really. Obviously, it's way early, but, you know, as far as a district favorite, you know, who would you put over?
Golly, both those teams will be in it. I can guarantee you, man. North is a fine team. I mean, give me a break. The Twins are back, and they're, you know, Lico's really playing strong right now. That guy he's kind of small, but he went up against De La Torre from Sharyland and tried to block his shot. Lico's not scared of anybody. Of the two Twins, Brian, obviously, you know, the MVP of the Valley last year, but do not underestimate Lico. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. In fact, he already is.
Yeah.
So them, Sharyland and North are going to be in it. You know, Donna's not bad, Peter. I got to tell you, Donna's got a little bit of a street game, man. They bring some attitude to you, and they're aggressive. They can score. George Garcia is a guy you need to remember. He scored like 20 points a game this year. And the other kid is the football receiver, Anthony Gonzalez. So Donna's not bad. Economides has some horses. We'll see. Robert Brown, if he can score 15 and get about 10 rebounds, that would really help them out. I think he's capable.
There you go. That's a lot.
Vela, now I've seen them several times. Vela's the type of team that, you know, you look at them walk in, there's some long kids, some tall kids. I think eventually the SaberCats will be pretty good. They got to start scoring the ball more.
Yeah.
If you looked at their numbers last year, man, they didn't score enough points. They'd be getting 40, 42. You can't win in varsity. You got to get to the 50s. I feel like with a year of experience, that team, and they have some size too, and some shooters, and they returned the team most intact in the district, really, because how many seniors do you have at a first-year school?
Yeah.
No, I think they're going to be in it too. I'm not sure about the La Jolla. Palmview was good last year, but I can't say for sure.
So you know, we would put Sharyland and Edinburg North at the top. But
I'd say.
Who would you pick?
Wow. I think right now North is a better team.
Yeah.
I feel like Sharyland. Here's Sharyland's deal. They got the size. They got 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and a 6'4" that can shoot the ball. A big kid. They're missing guards from last year, okay? Matthew Cardenas was a good player for them, and so was Pacho Fernandez. Those guys were cool guards, man. So right now, they got some guys who have played. Corby von Rosenberg, man, I call him old school, because this guy come out the 50s, you know? He can play, though. He makes a lot of things happen. I watched him last night, and, you know, he's not going to run up and down the court and dunk on you, but, man, he'll get in there and he'll tip the ball away, or he'll make a little pass. I mean, that guy can play. He's got good skills.
There you go.
So how does Sharyland beat North? Well, they need that guard play.
Yeah.
And how does North beat Rowe if they play them again? It's going to be tough. They're going to take a lot of threes.
Easily could see a split on both home courts.
I'd like to see it. We still have to have our tournament. And we had it a couple times in the summer. Now we're going to have the Town Crier Kickoff Classic. No, Tip-Off Classic.
Tip-off.
Yeah, we'll work on
We're
that.
still working on that. Still an idea.
Hey, I told you last week about that McAllen Rowe volleyball team.
Yes.
Big kids. Memorial in basketball on the girls' side has a girl. I didn't get to talk to her. She's about 6 foot tall though, real long. You know, she's still working on some skills, but I mean, a 6 footer is not a bad thing to have in the middle. I did note that. I have not checked in on Rowe lately. You know, I definitely want to see them 1 or 2 times. The tournament's going to be coming up in a week or two on both boys and girls and volleyball, so that's something to get out to. It's usually a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Sure. Also coming up, the tournament for 7-on-7.
Oh, tell me about that, because I'm not that well versed on football yet.
We had there's 4 brackets. There's Sharyland, Memorial, San Benito, Harlingen. All the teams are there. What do you feel about 7-on-7? How do you like it?
I hate it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Put it this way. Let me rephrase that.
Sure.
You get something out of it timing-wise, but it gives kids an unreal expectation of being able to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you shouldn't practice, don't get me wrong, and just run the ball every time. But I mean, 7-on-7 is unreal. You know, it's just like playing in your backyard. I mean, yes, you get the chance to work on receiver timing and this and that. It's okay, but there's nothing like throwing when someone's coming at you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't simulate that as well. What happens is you get in the game and you think you had that easy throw you had in the summer, boom, pick 6. You know, so as long as the kids still lift, and as long as they still do individual training, that's fine with me. Or if they get together and play,
Sure.
but is it a benefit? I'll tell you the main benefit of 7-on-7, this is my opinion, is that you get the kids together,
Yeah.
right? And so they're not all gone for 3 months, and then they come back and, hey, John, Pete, what's your name? You know? So you get them together in that team setting. You know, the coaching is not done by coaches, it's done by other people.
Sure.
But getting them there and making sure they stay together as a team and get to be more friends, that's cool. Not bad.
They got their tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be at Sharyland. You know, split up into all the fields around there. Sharyland, Memorial, and San Benito, and Harlingen are on the same bracket.
Wow, that's a group of death,
Yeah.
right? Golly. Now, I don't know, that Harlingen kid from last year, Goddessa, man, that guy's, he's going to have a good year. He's a big kid. Brandon Goddessa, he can throw.
So,
And Memorial, what, that's the riddle, man. Who's going to play quarterback Memorial, man? We're going to wait until that develops a
Yeah,
little more, but it's
definitely.
an exciting thing. And
It's-
Sharyland, too.
it should be fun. I mean, that's really what I'm looking forward to. Who's going to play quarterback
Yeah,
for
it's
those
huge.
teams? You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
major thing.
That's why McAllen got to be considered one of the favorites, because they have a quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, any team that you look at that has a returning quarterback, even unless you lost like 20 guys besides him.
And then McAllen, they're in the bracket with Mission Vets, PSG High, and Mercedes.
Mission Vet's got Santos,
Yeah.
man. I bet he can sling the ball. Golly, he's a good athlete. Santos Hernandez?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
So
tough. man.
Westico, Rowe, Alexander, and Edinburg are in the other
See how the
bracket.
big kid does it, Rowe, man. See how Justin does, man. Yeah.
So-
this is a chance. And
This
he
is
got
it right here. It's going to be at Rattler Stadium on the 29th.
29. This
wow.
is the set 18. Okay, so we got a while. Not this week. but
Yeah, the following weekend. Been just
The
gearing up.
average man soon figures out how to do it, right? I'm
Gearing
like-
up for Austin, the state tournaments in Austin this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we are assured of sending a team? Or?
I mean, I would say so. I mean,
Nice.
United, Alexander,
Oh.
they're the only ones who could stop.
United and
that.
Alexander, huh? You know what? I don't know what it is about Laredo, what's going on out there, but they're getting pretty good in sports. It kind of makes me mad, too. I think the Valley used to pick on Laredo like there's no tomorrow. Now it's
Not
going
anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much
Dang.
it. There's a lot of people over there, man. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I was out there,
struggle.
what, 2 summers ago? There's 275,000 people or
Yeah.
something such. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
That's
Laredo, it's a wild
yeah,
place, man.
yeah.
It's always been part of lore and literature. Laredo, the streets of Laredo. You know? Interesting.
What else do you got, man?
Well, I got a brief mention of the sports awards that were held last week by our competition, poor thing but our own. And all I can report to you is that the other day I was talking about Leah Brown. If she didn't win, I was all chicken head on you. She won it. Enough already. But I was like, come on now. I was hearing people tell me she wasn't going to win. I'm like, how come she not win?
I really wouldn't see how she wouldn't have won. I mean,
Amazing.
you qualify for state,
In 4 events,
and you know, you get at it.
player of the year in volleyball.
You sign up
Of the entire
I
valley.
know you sign a major D1 scholarship. I
Okay.
mean,
You know what the best part about her is, though? If she knew we were kind of, she would be like, she's so nice
Yeah.
and so humble and so normal. I mean, you know, I caught a glimpse of the speech that she gave at the banquet. She's just such a nice person. I'll tell you what, she's bright. Leah Brown is smart. I told her the other day, we were sitting there talking, I said, you know, now you get a chance to be challenged in athletics, but you also get a chance to be challenged academically, and I feel like you're ready for that. You know, when you see seniors in high school, you probably remember the same way it was with us. You know, you're through with that. You're beyond that. You want to get on and try something new. So I feel like that's our great senior class this year in Edinburg. Absolutely great. I can't wait to see, you know, what they do at the next level. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, because it's an amazing fact. Not everybody goes pro at whatever they do.
No,
and like the
tiny bit.
NCAA has that commercial. 4,000 athletes will graduate and do something other than professional sports.
And you know what?
I mean?
It's like having people from the military, the good ones. They're awesome. They can do anything. You give me a student athlete, I generally can expect that he or she has been through the dedication routine. So I'm not gonna have to worry about what he or she does. You know, it's great training. And you know, like I said, I still see people from around during the old days. Alyssa Granado was a great 3-sport player at Edinburg North. Her sister played, Cynthia. They were both great. A wonderful family. Well, you know, we're now having contact because I'm helping her write a letter I'm writing a letter of recommendation for her, some graduate thing in nursing. So I mean, you know, the bottom line is those are the good kids, and they do go away to be successful. And they're going to be the people that they're going to push us around our wheelchairs, man. Or maybe me. I hope me.
Man.
So Aaliyah Brown won the award. I'll tell you who the big winners were. Port Isabel's cleaned up, man. Port Isabel had a great football season. Stoneball was coach of the year, and they also had a girls team of the year and a girls coach of the year on the sub 5A. So you know they did have a great season.
It was Sharyland, right? Walked away program of the year.
Yeah, that's like a Aaliyah Brown pick, I guess.
I mean, it's hard to argue with 18 district championships.
Yeah. He sent me a bunch of stats about Sharyland baseball the other day, and I kind of got it on my own. But what you sent me was just, you know, the bottom line is they're amazing.
It's a really great
What's going to
program.
happen?
That's
if you have any clues, then give us a call. We want to kind of unfurl that.
That's the future of Sharyland.
That's a tough job, man. You don't think so, but to me, that's a tough job. Who's going to want to be the guy that steps in for Bart Bickerton?
Yeah.
You know, with the cloud of those 18 times, like, well, on the other hand, you say, here's a great program, you can win there, right? So you take a gamble either way.
The talent's there.
Yeah, and even when they split, the talent will be there for 2 very good teams. You can count on that, because they had like 30 guys in their roster. It looked like a spring training in the major leagues. You know?
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, we'll get down the road, but I mean, for now, I don't know. Anything else, man?
Well, tonight, of course, is the night of nights. Most of the Valley is rooting for the Spurs. So what do you think is going to happen?
I would have to say Miami back against the wall at home. LeBron.
If they're the champs, they win tonight, and they sweep. I mean, they finish.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We were talking about it earlier. I feel like maybe I'm just being simpatico Spurs. Who knows? But I feel like the Heat may have spent their energy. I feel like they don't necessarily believe in themselves anymore. Not that they're not great players. They could easily come out and be incredible. But they haven't played well in 2 series, and I really feel like if the Spurs jump out on them, shoot a bunch of threes, and demoralize them, it may be real quiet out there.
Yeah, and if the Spurs win, if Danny Green doesn't win the MVP, I don't know.
Danny Green.
I'm probably never watch the NBA.
The X Factor, Danny Green. Who in the world? That guy is on fire. No one's ever hit more threes in the playoffs than him. In a series. We'll see what happens. My gut feeling tells me that the Heat are going to win, but I really want the Spurs. There, I'm being a journalist, but I'm being biased. I can live with that.
Being a homer.
I hate the Heat. All right, so the Heat is outside. The Heat's going to be on TV. Everybody have a great week, and 2 weeks left in the summer leagues. And the Roadrunners, by the way, are home for the next 2 weeks. They're 10-13, but they're starting to really put it together. Go take a look. Talking Sports Pete, we on.